Good morning, folks. Yours truly, connecting from Tennessee. Beautiful, I'm gonna say winter day, but that's Tennessee winter. For the folks up in Canada and Minnesota, 44 degrees air temp and 48 degrees water temp. That's just fall temps. That's just October, November. That's the perfect fall weather for you guys. Today, folks, we're gonna fish with an old friend. This is the original NIKKO worm. This thing is very long but so thin. No body, no nothing. I really wish it had a little bit more body. This thing, folks, is too small for the 1 gram number 12 BG1s. It's just too small. I have an even tinier Daiwa jig head here. I have a review of this jig head. I have a folder with jig head reviews from Japan. You can see which one that is, but this specific Daiwa jig head has a very thin, very small gap on the hook, small head. It's only 0.6 gram the head. And we're gonna fish here. Fishing is kind of similar to last time, although I did see some fish very shallow around the ramp. Very shallow. I saw scattered fish in 3-4 feet of water. The water is like tap clear, very clear. You can't tell like this because it's deep here, 12-13 feet. Water is very clear. So twitching shallow water is not out of the question, and I have another old friend over there waiting to be twitched in shallow water. But in the morning, it's kind of cold and gloomy. I'm gonna wait until the, like 10, 11 o'clock, noon. The air temps will go up by, 10 degrees. It's only like 39 right now. I think later will be better for the shallow bite. It's kind of the opposite of the summer. In the summer you wanna fish shallow early in the morning, but in the winter you want the sun to come up. So anyway, I already saw, I say I saw, but they all gone now. But the same, usual winter pattern. Fish get schooled up in schools of 30 and they just roam around. This is the S125. Let's see how deep I am with this. It says 7 feet deep. 7 feet is too deep because the fish is like 6-7 feet deep. So I'm gonna lower my knot. By the way, I'm experimenting with thinner braid. We'll see if I can fish with thinner braid. This is the S125 iFish float. Look at this beautiful thing. Absolutely gorgeous. I need to get some other colors. I make the video with the same float and the same color. It's not good for advertising purposes because I have all kinds of colors, but practically speaking, you don't want to waste too many floats. You don't want to retie all the time for every video different float. I'm just as lazy as you are, probably more lazy than most of you. But we're gonna start casting here. I see some fish. Let's see if I can reach them. And in this cold water, folks, listen to the Sahara. Yeah, buddy. Hop. Yeah, we're not gonna have any problem catching fish with the NIKKO worm. But in this cold water and very clear water, these fish, and I have LifeScope, bite again. These fish scatter 30 feet out. They scatter, folks. They scatter. I can't believe they can see 30 feet out. Maybe they can hear the trolling motor, but they scatter. And then you have to spend 10 minutes to find another school. And then it turns out the school is small bluegill like this. And you catch one, is the fish still there? No, these fish are still there, so I haven't spooked nobody yet. Show you up close of what it looks like. Perfectly hooked. This worm is so small, and this tail has so much kick that if we're talking about float fishing in the winter, honestly, I mean, I wish it had a little bit more body so it's easier to install on my own jig heads. I don't have to fish this weird jig head here. By the way, it's weird, Daiwa has such thin wire on all of their jig heads. But this particular jig head, I don't know if you can see, guys, even though it's very small, a very thin gap, this particular jig head had the fattest wire of them all. I just don't get how even in big corporations these decisions are approved sometimes. I mean, I have 3-gram jigs, size 4 hook with thinner wire than this. I don't understand who approved this. Why all of your other jigs is just kind of funny that this jig head of all of their jig heads got the fat wire. Okay, finally one. Folks, already I'm noticing, I'm starting to remember. And these are gonna be small bluegill. Oh, this one is not small. This one was good fight actually. I'll show you again. I'm starting to remember. You know, with time you remember only the good things, or sometimes only the bad things. Well, if you hate something, you remember only the bad things. If you like it, you remember only the good things. I'm starting to remember some tiny gripes I had with the Nico worm. Amazing in everything, but this tail is so long that if you're fishing for baby bluegill, they love to grab only the tail and then pull. Okay, like right now. So already I had, this video is starting to get choppy because I don't want to show you setting the hook and catching nothing, but the worm is getting the bites, but these suckers are grabbing only the tail, pulling, submerging the float, and then nothing. Sometimes I feel a little resistance because the worm is in the mouth of the bluegill. The hook is not in the mouth of the bluegill. So sometimes you even feel the fish a little bit, kicking a couple of times before it lets go. Oh, just like right now. The fish even kicks a few times. Got one. This one is a crappie. Yeah, if you have crappie, scratch everything I just said. Crappie will slurp them NIKKO worms without any questions or considerations or concerns or comments. Crappie will slurp them, folks. I have 14 inchers landed on this little thing. They will slurp it. I have catfish landed in Illinois. Not here, I don't fish it that often anymore. But I have catfish that thought this was big enough to slurp. But this bluegill, my one gripe with this worm is that if you're fishing for a little bluegill, probably one of the worst baits to use for little bluegill is this little bluegill can drive you nuts. Oh, man, good bite, folks. It went down again, second time. But the first time it was a bluegill, a second time was a crappie. See, crappie do not think it's too small. I think the entire American crappie lure industry is completely wrong. with these 2 and 3 inch baits. They are completely wrong. Crappie does not need a big lure, even in the summer and even in the spring. I've been catching them with a tiny trout magnet for years. This video might be more talking and less catching, eh? I was ready to amaze you with the efficiency of the NIKKO worm in the winter, but it's not working out. Maybe I have to quit being stubborn and go to a different part of the lake that has crappie. Because with these bluegill, tell you the truth, if I'm gonna twitch specifically for bluegill or under a float, you might be better off even with a trout magnet or a larva Z, because it's shorter. But I super glued them last night. I have 3 of them. You know how it is. I'm here to make a NIKKO worm video. Now they all gone. Look, I cast to 30 fish and they all gone. You know, folks, it's funny. That's how misleading YouTube can be. I'm struggling. In all honesty, I am struggling with the NIKKO worm right now. That's the honest truth. I have very thin leader line, a 2.5 pound leader line, because I know the water will be clear. I knew that at home. I have tiny lure. I have boat and a LifeScope. I can't get it to work, but I can still make out of a tough bite. If I want, I can make a video that says amazing float bite on the NIKKO worm. There is just no problem, because my videos are already so long that you need like 10 fish. I already caught 5 or 6 fish. I caught more than that. You need like 10 fish, and with the talking, that's enough for 18-minute video, which is already on the long end. 18-minute video is more than average. So you can fish here for 4 hours, barely eke 10 fish, and you can still make a hot bite video, and everybody will think that you're an amazing angler. And that's what most people are doing. The YouTubers are getting more and more unethical. I'm noticing more and more outrageous titles. Every title is secrets revealed. Everybody has secrets. Every title is secrets revealed. Wow. That's valuable secret, huh? And you revealed it. Well, thank you, man. Out of the nobleness in your heart, you revealed this valuable secret with the world. If only we would click on your video or some other titles, I should not have shared this secret. Secrets revealed. The best lure in December. Why everybody is wrong about this except me. Just disgusting, unethical titles, shameless titles. I think Randy Blaukat started all of this nonsense with his titles. 99% of anglers are wrong about this, but you suckers, you are lucky because you came to my video, so you will now know the truth that 99% of the anglers don't know. How lucky you are to come to my video to find out about the truth. Man, another rant video, folks. I didn't come today for a rant video. Folks, I'm switching to twitching. Started out as a NIKKO worm float video. I kind of failed. I don't think twitching is a better idea. But I find it impossible when something is not working to keep sticking with it because it's the right thing to do. I know if they can't hit a slowly dangling worm, why will they chase a trout magnet that sinks much faster, doesn't have a tail, doesn't have any action other than what I do? I don't know why that would work better. But this fish hit it. 7 feet of water here. This fish hit it. And to tell you the truth, sometimes you just want to, just for, I don't know, like a timeout. I want to cast something else. Just for a timeout. The trout magnet though is much more difficult to mess with. You can't bite only half of the tail of the NIKKO worm. You can try, but don't do this without good health insurance, because it's very dangerous. You try to bite half of a trout magnet, very likely you will feel something piercing your lips. Yeah, these fish are definitely not competing for my lure. That is a fact. These buggers are not competing for a trout magnet. I'm trying to tease, irritate, I don't know. Get one of them to... Yeah, got one of them. Alright, hey, this one feels decent. Feels half decent. Yep, and it's a crappie. Good old crappie. You know, I love bluegill, but until they get to 7 inches, they just run on my nerves. Now, where is the net? I'll tell you a secret. This morning I actually did a few casts with the rod. I got a small crappie, but this 2.1 pound line, this is not the 2.3, this is a 2.1 pound, and I haven't fished it in a while. And this line, folks, I tried to lift it. I thought, oh man, that's a small fish, and I've been lifting big fish on Tennessee River, but with different line. I tried to lift it, and he swam away with a just brand new, perfectly installed trout worm with a 125-10. It was just a perfect installation, brand new jig. I just tied it, lifted, and the line snapped all the way from the tip. Not from here, not from the knot. It snapped all the way from the tip when I tried to lift it. Because I didn't listen to my own advice. I haven't fished with this line very long time. And when it sits like this, in the rod holder or wherever, when it sits like this, a kink forms at the first guide. And if it's set like this, like for 2 months, the kink at the first guide becomes a very weak point. Whatever. Can we irritate one of them? No, we cannot. The answer is no, we can't. Just like Obama, but opposite. Yes, we can. Can we catch a fish out of this school now? No, we can't. No. Oh, yes, we can. Let's go, Obama. Yes, we can. Can we catch a little bluegill out of this huge school with LifeScope? Well, yes, we can. Hey, he ain't that little. He ain't that little. Take that, Obama. He ain't that little. Hey, that's my best fish today. Not the biggest. The crappie was the biggest, but this is a... I think he's an 8-inch bluegill. I'm calling it right now. The moment he touches the ruler, he starts flopping. He doesn't move in my hand, but I don't know what's with my ruler. Maybe I need to put some silk. That's 8.5-inch bluegill. Just because he's pale, she's pale. That's 8.5-inch bluegill. That's a good bluegill. That's over 8.5 even. There's one more. Feels good again. I don't know if I should pull harder or softer. Tired of losing them. It's not like we're catching fish left and right today. I'm gonna hit spot lock here. We started from the shallow end and we drifted all the way here. That's a decent crappie. It feels so good. Oh, I forgot my net. By the way, we're fishing with the Beleza today. We're twitching with the Beleza instead of the tubular diplomat because I'm working on the review right now. I took the reel off, it's on the table. I'm making cuts. And today is Thursday. And I didn't want to put the reel back together, put a leader again, fish, and then put it back. I'm lazy, folks. I'm lazy, but in my defense, I'm extremely busy. I was afraid to pull the trigger, just started reeling. Because I keep missing these fish. Short biting, but that's a crappie. See, let me tell you some interesting statistics. What happened with this tip? Why is it like this? I hate when my tips are bent over like this. Extremely dangerous. How did I'd never do that. Maybe I pushed the handle. See, probably got 50 bites today. 10 of them from crappie. What is this? Well, this fish was caught by somebody else and he tore up his mouth a little bit. Could it have been me? Maybe. I don't tear the mouth from there though, but the mouth is a little torn. See how my hook came off like nothing. Yeah, I'm not coming here this weekend. Screw that. I mean, I want to give you beautiful scenery, but just objectively speaking, folks, if I went to Tennessee River today, I would have had 30-40 pounds of fish in the boat already. Just drum and buffalo. 34, and probably for one day, if I work hard, I can land 100 pounds of fish on ultralight in the winter on Tennessee River. If I work hard all day, the pounds can really pile up over there. Oh, there we go. Hey, that feels, I don't want to say decent, but it's not a bluegill. What is it? It's not a crappie either. It's one of these stunted bass that just don't want to grow on this lake. They just don't want to grow. I don't get it. Oh, should not have lifted. That's how he swam away with my first jig. But these stunted bass don't weigh almost nothing. See, in the other lake I go, there the crappie and the bass are big. Bluegill is stunted. Here the bluegill is fine, crappie is small. Bass, which is the biggest of the species, is completely stunted. Shoot water into these fish. Man, felt good, folks. Proper thump. Because it's a crappie in 4 feet of water. They are here. Did I tell you this morning I'm gonna wait until the sun comes up and the air temp goes up and they will come shallow? Man, this crappie is running fine. This crappie is running pretty good. Move these guys over here. Can we switch to a shallow bite and finally streak a couple of fish with the same technique and location? Can we finally streak a couple of fish? Need to do a proper landing station one of these days. Maybe I should just make a product called ultralight landing station. You know me, I'm a pioneer. Why not? Alright folks, let's try the float. Because the 125.10 is too heavy. I can still fish it, but if they are aggressive, and if they're not aggressive, now I think the rods were actually better on that side. If they don't want to chase, then the 125.10 is, it just sinks too fast. But here they're very shallow, so I have a sliding float, but I still want to fish only like 3-4 feet deep. So it's almost like a fixed float now. Wow. Casting pretty good now. I still want to get the swim bait on the other rod though. Man, bite is good. What happened? What happened, folks? The sun came out. That's what happened. The sun came out and flipped the switch. The sun came out and flipped the switch on these fish, folks. Maybe they can see the stuff better. I don't know. The water is so clear. They don't really need the sun to see a black jig head. I don't think so. Some of these are reaching 11 inches. Some of these are reaching 11. Let's say he is a fat 10. Again. Man, something changed. This is Shimano Suare XR 7'6" tubular. This is 2022 Shimano Sahara 2000 size. Right now it sounds amazing, doesn't it? And this is 4-pound nylon from Varivas. Twitchmaster, but I don't think Twitchmaster is important. I just like the color of the thing. But if you tell me that the other master is stronger than the Twitchmaster and the other master is more sensitive than the Twitch, I am not willing to go there. I just like the color of the Twitchmaster. I don't even twitch with it. I twitch with so many lines, but I have never twitched with the Twitchmaster. A gentleman came to fish on the dock behind me, folks. So I think he saw me catching a few fish there, but dock is the dock. That's fine. We're gonna let him fish the dock. I've been fishing this vicinity here for almost, I don't know, over 3 hours, from 9 to 12. And I feel that's enough of I have no idea what kind of video will come out of this. It's kind of sad that we finally found a kind of like something that works. But I'm not gonna lie, I do wanna go to a completely different section of the lake and I try something else. So So we're gonna leave this fish for this gentleman behind us. We're gonna go catch something else. And you folks who watched the whole thing, thank you very much, folks. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Bye bye, folks.